Hi guys, Darth Deuces here with another action figure review. Today I got a couple cool ones for you. I've got another Mezco figure to review. A while back I did the Mezco Reverse Flash, and this time I got the Mezco 1/12 Collective Scale Deadpool. This is a pretty cool one. Picked it up for a really good deal. Unfortunately, a local collectible shop is going under, but the bright side for me is they're doing 50% off their whole store, and they still had some of these guys left, so I figured for it's like 60 Canadian dollars. It was really worth it, so I had to pull the trigger on it. So here's the box. It's pretty standard Mezco. You got the red and then the gloss icon of the character there, which is Deadpool. Got Deadpool up there. 1/12 Collective Marvel. 1/12 Collective. On the side, you got the same thing right there. On the back, you've got a showcase of the figure, all the accessories and whatnot that he comes with, and some ACBA style shots down there as well. And that's pretty much it. This just comes off as a sleeve like so. You got the Mezco logo under there. And then there's just a window on the front which displays the figure. But he's not in there because I have him out of the packaging. So now let's take a look at the figure himself. Alright, I've got the figure out here now. And he is, like I said, really cool. There's a lot of things I like about him. The quality is really nice on this figure. Yeah, he's probably my favorite Deadpool I have in my collection now, which honestly I thought it was going to be pretty hard to beat the Juggernaut Wave Marvel Legends Deadpool, and it still is. This figure isn't that much better than that figure, to be fair, but he still is really cool. There's a lot to like, so let's get into it. And first off, take a look at the sculpt and the details and whatnot, which is really good. Here's the head sculpt. He comes with an extra head sculpt, which we'll get into later. But here's the one that he comes packed in with, which is kind of like the generic sort of aggressive looking one, I suppose. He's got the white eyes, and you got like the wrinkles around the eyes to make it look like he's sort of mad, I suppose, which is cool. You get the black, which is really nice. The details of the mask look really good, and it really makes it look like there's a face underneath there. You can see the ears kind of poking through the mask. There's a really subtle black wash applied to the mask as well to bring out the details. And you get the little tail there sculpted, which is really nice. The majority of the figure is in this fabric bodysuit here, which is good for the most part. I'm not too fond of the collar. It makes it kind of look like he's wearing a turtleneck. But aside from that, it looks pretty good. I really like the color of red that the fabric is. The fabric itself is a nice stretchy material, same material used on the Reverse Flash. And he also has these black, glossy, sort of almost rubbery, not latex, a spandex-like sort of material for the black parts. Like, it's not fabric, it's like a rubbery sort of material, or of some sort of like a fake leather or something, which is pretty cool. The contrast between the two different fabrics is quite interesting. I have heard people complain, and I tend to maybe agree, that over time there might be the risk of this black stuff cracking over time. Hopefully that's not the case, but it is a possibility, I'd say. It also does, because it's a bit stiffer, it does hinder some articulation, unfortunately, but it's not too bad. You got this harness here. Mezco do at times like to take liberties with the designs of their characters, like they did with Deathstroke and whatnot. Deadpool's no exception, but I think Deadpool is a figure or a character where they can take some liberties with the design and still have it look good. And it does look good. I mean, it's definitely based on his current comic look, his Marvel Now, I suppose, comic look, but they did add some things. Like they have this harness here, the shoulder harnesses here, which has the grenades, which all these are individually removable, which is pretty cool. So I'll show you. Or that's the wrong way. You pop these out like so. So all these are individually removable. They got red tips, they're black in the middle, and then got like a gunmetal gray on the end, so that's pretty cool. We'll get more into those later. On the back here, you got his sword sheaths, which are pretty good. They hold the swords okay. This side actually holds the sword pretty good. This one not so much. Like, obviously, they're gonna sit in there, and if he's not like fully upside down, they're not gonna come out. But if you put them upside down, this one side's fine. The other side not so much. So that's a little unfortunate. You got the belt here at the belt buckle, which looks pretty good. I do think the black parts are a bit too big because there's barely any red there, but it's not too bad. And the pouches and whatnot are really nicely sculpted. The silver is nice and crisp. All the details really good. All these grenades on his belts are individual accessories, which can be slotted onto his belt and removed if you want to. But they're pretty cool. They're basically red grenades with his eyes on them, which is pretty cool. You got more pouches there. On the legs here, you've got his holsters for his guns. It holds the guns really securely, and they do have these little plug straps. You do kind of have to really stretch over the grips to get them to plug in, and even then they don't plug in the greatest, but you can kind of get that going. You can also see, or maybe you can't, but right in there, these are actually plugged into these, so I'm assuming you could remove these if you wanted to, and if, there must be some way, I'm not entirely sure how, and I'm not going to do it, but there's probably a way to take the whole harness off too if you wanted to, but is what it is. I'm not going to take it off. Get the arms here, get the forearm armor, which has some nice scuffs and whatnot in it, and a nice sort of gunmetal color, which is really cool. And the gloves look nice with the red and some black on it. Looks great. He comes packed in with balled fists, and he does come with some more sets of hands we'll get into. Got the shin guards here, which look really good as well. Again, that gunmetal color with the scuffs on it looks great. And then you do have the shoes or the feet, which are nice. They got treads on the bottom, peg holes on the bottom of the feet, which is cool. It's a nice sculpted detail and paint. I do think his feet are a little on the big side. They look a little too long, but that's, for the most part, it's pretty good. It keeps him nice and secure, so I'm not going to complain too much about that. And overall, he does look really, really good. There's not too much to complain about. In terms of articulation, this is probably where he lacks a bit, and especially when it comes to comparing him to some of his Marvel Legends counterparts, especially the newest Marvel Legends Deadpool. The 90s one can get more poses than this guy can. But he's still pretty good. So he's got like 2 ball joints in the head, so you can look up, you look down. You can pivot, which is important for Deadpool in my opinion, and you rotate. Ball hinges in the shoulders move. You can get him up pretty high actually. It's pretty good. Rotation-wise, though, is a bit sketchy. It's only going to go up to about there. You can't get all the way around because of this black material, which is a little annoying for posing, doing aiming poses with his guns. He does have a slight butterfly joint, so you can move in and out a little bit. I think he has a swivel at the bicep, though it's hard to tell with the clothes on. Double hinges at the elbows move good, and then ball joints at the wrists, and you can adjust them to either go in and out or up and down, so that's always really good. He has a diaphragm joint, which moves okay. He doesn't crunch forward too crazy, but it does go, and it crunches back just a bit. And you can rotate it a little bit as well. Ball hinges at the hips move decently, and you can kick them forward pretty much all the way, so that's good. Double joint at the knee, which moves really well. Boot cut rotation, which is good, and he has the ball joint at the ankle, so you get up and down just a bit, and you get a bit of rotation or pivot. You don't get as much pivot as I'd like, to be honest, but you do get a bit. So not bad articulation. You can definitely get him in a lot of cool poses. You're just not going to be getting him into super dynamic poses, which is a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. Now talking about accessories, he does come with quite a bit of accessories, which is probably the main draw to this figure. First off, not really accessory, but you do get this baggie here, which you get with all Mezco figures. You can get a label there to write the character's name on it, and you can store your accessories. I actually really do like these inclusions. That's really nice. You do get a display stand like every Mezco figure, so you got the Deadpool logo for his display stand. You get the peg. His will be red. I just have another figure's display stand peg in there, but his will be red. And you also get the articulated flight stand or display stand or whatever, so if you want to, you can pop out that, plug that in, and use the stand, which is useful for Deadpool, get him in some jumping poses and whatnot, so I like that. Comes with a nice amount of interchangeable parts. So first off, it does come with an extra head sculpt. So here is the head sculpt. It's not too much different from the first one, but it is different enough to be a nice inclusion. He does have the eye. This eye is open a little more. This one's squinted a little more to get more cocky, goofy look, which is really cool. And has all the same nice details that the other head has. And switching out the heads works really well. It's pretty easy. Just pop it off the ball joint. It comes off easy. And slot it on. And again, it goes on really easy. And it looks really cool. I like that. Next up, he comes with a plethora of hands, including the set of balled fists. He comes with 4 sets of hands, so 8 hands. You get the balled fists. You get some trigger hands. And to put those on, I'm going to put the trigger hands on because, or I'll put one of them on. It's easy. The peg, swapping them in and out, works really well, so there's no problem there. The peg's not brittle at all, so the switching of it's really easy to do. You get a pair of sword holding hands, basically meant for holding the sword. So that's cool. We'll use those in the same as well. And then you get two, not really pairs, but different hands. You get a left hand used for, or sorry, a right hand. It's just an open hand, so maybe for supporting the other accessories, or just for, I don't know, if just you want an open hand. There you go. And you get this funny hand on the left side. He's kind of like got the pinky finger out and the thumb up, so that's really cool. I like that a lot. So yeah, I'll show you quickly with the pinky hand. I think it's a cool one, so a bit more unique, so we'll show that off real quick. I'm not doing the best posing right now, but there you can kind of get an idea. So that's pretty cool. Plug that out, and as you can see, a grenade just fell off, and that's okay, because I can get a closer look at it. So then he comes with a bunch of weapons and different things to use for those weapons. So first off, as you saw, does come with these really small grenades, which have his face on it. Nicely painted, nicely sculpted. Like I said, you can tab them or slot them on his belt. And one of these hands can hold them. I'm not sure which one's the best. I haven't actually posed him holding the grenades. Now, you can do it with the open hand if you want. You can slot the little lever between his fingers, and that works. I'm sure other hands, like the trigger ones, can probably do it too. There's that. He comes with an assault rifle, which is really cool. It looks like an M4 of some sort with a bunch of attachments on it. It's nice. It's molded in a black plastic with a silver wash to make it look a bit more scuffed up and worn, which is really cool. The barrel's hollow, so if you had one of the gun muzzle effects from like Punisher, you could slot that in there if you wanted to, and it probably looked pretty cool. I kind of wish this figure came with those as well. He didn't, but I guess it's okay. It doesn't matter too much. You can remove the clip on this one, which is really cool. You can see the bullet on the top there. That's really awesome. I love those features on Mezco figures. That's really cool. Another really cool feature is that the grenade launcher on the rifle, you can actually put open the. You can take the little grenades on his forearm there, and you can slot them right in there, and you can close it up. And then that's really cool. You can actually do that. Display-wise, maybe not super interesting, but for like toy photography, you want to make it look like, do a photo where he's loading it up or something, that's really cool. And it is hollow, so you can just slot out to get it out. Don't mind stuck in there. There we go. And then pop out pretty easily. I'm just gonna throw the grenade back on his belt there, or else don't want to lose it. They're pretty small. He comes with his two swords, so pull one of them out. They're both the same, but they're pretty cool. They got a nice blade, pretty sharp on the tip there. It's nice sculpted detail on it, some scuffs in it, sculpted and whatnot, and then the handle black with some red there looks really good. Using his sword holding hands, he holds them really well. I'm not going to show that, but you know, you can get the idea. It looks pretty good, so I like that. And they go into the sheath. It seems to vary figure to figure whether they hold well or not. It kind of sucks, but it is what it is. And then lastly, he does come with two handguns, so both handguns are the same. I just lost another grenade. But both handguns are the same. They look like Glocks to me. So that's really cool. Got a silver top there with the black grip, and then you've got the Deadpool's eye there on the grip, which is really cool. Same on this side. The doesn't slide back the Punisher weapons, unfortunately, but it doesn't really matter too much. It does have the hole though, so again, if you had bullet effects, you could use those on these guns. And like Punisher weapons, you can remove the clips from the bottom of the gun, which is really, really cool. It's nicely silver dry brushed, and you got the bullet on the top as well, and they slot in there, fit in just fine. You don't get any extra clips with this figure, but I don't think you really need them for the most part. As long as you're careful and you don't lose them, you shouldn't need them. And he can hold both guns on all of his accessories really well with his trigger finger hands and his sword gripping hands. So that looks really cool. Overall, this is a really cool figure. I'll give you some size comparisons real quick just to show you with some others. So here he is next to the Juggernaut Wave Deadpool. And this one's still a really good figure. I really enjoy this one. He has a bit more of the goofy factor to him, where this one does not. So, you know, they have about the same articulation capabilities, maybe even a bit better on this one, to be completely honest. Yeah, I both like them really good, a lot. They're both at the same height, so that works well, I guess. Here, just so you can see with the 90s Deadpool, I don't have them in a straight pose, but you can see they're about the same red color, about the same brightness. The Juggernaut Wave one's quite a bit darker. Just with the slightly taller Marvel Legends, here he is next to Cable. I think that looks really good. I think they actually go really well together. I think I almost prefer this one displayed next to Cable over the Juggernaut Wave one. I think it looks really good. And I don't have any other Mezcos handy for me to show you with them, but he does scale well with the other Mezcos. So yeah, like I said, overall, this is a really good figure. I really do enjoy it a lot. I think if you can find it for retail or for a good price, the retail or not too far over retail, and you're a big Deadpool fan, definitely recommend picking it up. If you're not a huge Deadpool fan, then I would definitely go with the Marvel Legends and not bother investing in this one. But if you're a big Deadpool fan, you're a Mezco collector, 100% recommend the Deadpool Mezco. He is a really fun figure, really cool, and I had fun taking pictures of him. Anyways, that's my review of the Mezco Deadpool. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I'll see you all in the next video.